Good evening, everyone. Let us chant Namo Tassa before the start of the session. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. All right. So, we have to continue with Attipacha. And do we have any questions with regards to what we've already covered with Attipacha? Any questions? Or are we able to move on? We finished post-nascence, if I remember correctly. We finished post-nascence last time, during the last class, isn't it, everyone? Right? We finished post-nascence. Now, today, we would have to continue with nutriment, presence. Ahara atti. For today. Right. So before we move on again, does anyone have any questions? Or are we able to move on? Okay. Let us move on. Ahara atti. Now, we have read, this is Lady Sayadaw's book, we have read, Lady Sayadaw has not offered a great amount of detail in this section because most of the sections have already been covered in the previous sections, right? So there is not a great amount of detail under Attipacha, and we've already read Attipacha. And with regards to the rest, we will only be coming back to Lady Sayadaw's book for Avigatapacha, right? Yes, yes, Devika.
Attipacha in Lady Sayadaw's book we have not read. It is a little bit there, but we didn't read because every time we read that Bhante, I underline. So it's not underlined.
I haven't read it. Okay, okay. So let us read it now before we move on to Ahara, right? Okay. The relation of presence is of 7 different kinds. The relation of presence is of 7 different kinds. Right? Namely, coexistence, basic pre-existence, right? Objective pre-existence, basic objective pre-existence, post-existence, material food, and physical life control, right? I'm going to read the I can Dil, I see your face. I'm going to read our words, right? But the words that we are using, which is connascence presence, pre-nascence presence, post-nascence presence, nutriment presence, and faculty presence. Those are the words that we are familiar with, right? Yes, so you're saying we have more. Lady Sayadaw is mentioning.
No, I'm just saying that because when I've just looked at it, even the now you get Atti, Natti, and Vigaha and Avigaha, but in Lady Sayadaw's book, some of the words it says abeyance and absence in this is absence in another one, so it's a bit confusing. The English words, Bhante,
Yeah.
absence is it's 23 in one, in other one it's 22. So if you look at the English words, Bhante, you get utterly confused.
Yes.
So if you just go to the Sahajata, Paschajata, Purvajata, those are standard in every book. So I gave up trying to correlate the 2 books because the English words are being used, the same word is used for 2 different persons. Particularly that, abeyance and absence, in one is 22, in the other one is 23. You see when you go, if you go to follow the English. That's why I just thought we stick to what we know. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes. Now, life control, physical life control. right? Of these, the relation of coexistent presence is that of mere coexistence, right? Which is sahajata. A similar interpretation should be made for the remaining 6, for which the equivalent relations that have already been explained are to be referred to, right? The classifications of relating and related things have already been dealt with above. In each of the relations concerned, why is Atipatya so called? Atipatya is so called because it causally relates itself to its effect by being present in the 3 phases of time called kana, the 3 moments, kana moments, right? Upada, Titibanga, right? Because it is present to its effect, cause, the cause is present to its effect during the 3 moments. Correct. Understood, everyone? Right? Now, let us come back. So that is the end of Atipatya here. So let us come back to the chart that we so love. Now,
Bhante, excuse me. In Lady Theodore's book, there are 7, they give 7 courses, isn't it, Bhante? And
yes.
here it's 5.
Yes.
Why?
So
Yes.
here, right. Let us go back. Shadows here. Right. Now here we have 5. Sahajata, Purejata, Pachajata, Ahara, Atti, Indriya, Atti. Right?
Yeah.
So here, coexistent Sahajata.
Gotcha.
Basic pre-existence and objective pre-existence. Right? Now, if we go to Purejata, right? It is Vattu Purejata and Arammana Purejata in our book is classified as 1, Purejata.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Right? In Lady Shadow, classifies it as
Yeah.
2.
2.
So,
Then that is the reason. And then we have basic objective pre-existence and basic basic pre-existence, objective pre-existence, basic objective pre-existence, and post-existence.
post-existence.
Right? That is why.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
Bhante.
In our book, we are collectively going through it.
Yes.
Okay, Bhante. I understand. Thank you, Bhante. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Now, back to our chart. Nutriment, right? Nutriment. Ahara ati, same as 15.1. Right? 15.1. Material. Material, right? We have A, the nutrition in food being the conditioning state gives rise to material born of nutriment, right? Hence, nutriment in the material born of nutriment, right? Now, because we have been studying this chart for revision, if I might just bring your attention to nutriment in material born of nutriment. So what are we referring to? We are referring to material born of nutriment. And here, this number 18, this nutriment here found. So these 2 nutrients found here is the conditioning state. Do you understand?
But Bhante, so 18 is Ahara Pachya. And this other one at the end of it is nutrition born. There
Yes.
are 2.
No. So, no, this is not Ahara Pachaya.
Then
This is Ahara Pachaya. This is Ahara Pachaya.
yes. Then so what there? What are the 2 there?
This is Ahara. Oja, nutrition.
Nutrition Oja. Okay.
Right?
Bhante. So this number, where is that now? Number 18 here is Oja.
Oja, nutrition.
Right. And the
Right.
corner one here is nutrition born.
Nutrition born. Nutrition born. There are two.
Right. Right. Thank
These
you.
groups, these groups in that. So what is it relating to in the chart? It is saying nutritive essence in food. Right. So when we say nutritive essence in food, we are referring to number 18 here. This one. Right. Which is these two. Gives rise to, conditioned by nutritive essence in food, what arises? Matter born of nutriment. Right? Matter born of nutriment. So what are the matters born of nutriment there? The everything, right? Everything except this. Right? We have to take everything except this, because already this has been accounted for as a conditioning state. Do you understand? Right? The nutriment has already been accounted for as a conditioning state. The nutriment is not just going to arise and then and then give rise to the rest. No, it arises kalapyak vashin ekata hataganne. It will arise together. So there we find this is the conditioning state, and the rest becomes a conditioned state. Do you understand? Is that clear, everyone? Anyone who does not understand? So if we are to simply take the pure octad here, right? If we are to just take the pure octad, according to ahara pachaya or ahara atti, in atti pachaya, what happens is, when this nutriment is present, you can see my cursor, isn't it? When this nutriment
Sorry, Bhante, can't see the cursor. I'm looking for the cursor. Where
You're
is it
looking for
now?
the cursor. Can I shake?
Yes.
It's at the end of number 18, Anoma. Look
Ah,
at the
thank-
number 18 and
Can you
right
see
at the
now?
end.
Yeah, number 18 I found. Okay, right. Thank you.
At the end, right at the end.
Thank you, Dean.
Okay. Yes. So here, right? So if you're looking at the pure octad, which is here, right? The pure octad, which is here. Right at the end, everyone. Pure octad, which is here. What it is saying is, this nutriment is present. With this nutriment conditions the arising of the rest of the seven, which is Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vanna, Gandha, Rasa. Vanna, Gandha, Rasa. Right? Vanna, Gandha, Rasa in the pure octad. Earth, water, fire, air, visible object, smell, taste. Right? Smell, taste is the conditioned, right, factors. Going back to the chart, matter born of nutriment. So we can take the pure octad as well as it's referring to any matter. So mutability undicard, and pure octad we can take, right? Matter born of nutriment. Do you understand? Right? So, sorry. B we have, now A. Is A clear, everyone? We know when we eat some sort of nutriment, some sort of food, right? The nutriment found, the essence, the nutritive essence in food gives rise to aharaja rupa. Aharaja rupa. It is important to note, it is not the food, it is the nutritive essence in food. That is very important, everyone. Right? Because we have to be clear, not all food has nutriment. Right? Some food that we think is food is not food. Right? Especially in this time that we live in. Right? we are referring to, and especially within this pacha, when we are talking about ahara ja rupa, we are referring to the cause and effect of nutrition. Nutrition. Hence, we are referring only to the causes of the nutritive essence. That is why it is not food, it is a nutritive essence in food. Do you understand? Is that clear? Any questions?
Bhante, sorry, I'm quite
Yes.
simple-minded on this. So what you're referring to here in the nutrition essence of food, in food is not the food itself. It's a nutrition essence, which is the ahara jarupa, which is the same as number 18 in the other chart, which is the oja.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now thank you.
Of the food. That is very important. If we say food, it is wrong.
Right.
Right? It is a nutritive essence in food. Right? B is internal nutritive essence in groups born of 4 causes. Internal nutritive essence in group born of 4 causes. What are the 4 causes? Kamma, Chitta, Uttu, Ahara. Right? Kamma, consciousness, temperature, and nutriment born are the 4 causes. Hence, so that is the internal nutritive essence in the groups born of the 4 causes. So what is the internal nutritive essence, everyone? Of the matter born of the 4 causes. The nutrition in those matter. Do you understand? Which is this. Number 18, this nutriment which we have. Can you see my cursor? Right? Right? So from kamma, so number 9 here. Can you see my cursor here now? Right? So this whole line, everyone. This whole line you see. There's nutriment.
Excuse me, Bhante, can you enlarge this diagram a little bit?
Yes.
Very indistinct, I don't know.
Nutriment. Can you see number 18, nutriment?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then this whole line we must take. This whole line according to the respective matter that arises. Right? According to the respective matter that arises. Now let us see. Right? Wrong chart. Here. So internal nutritive essence in the 4 groups born of the 4 causes. That is that whole line of, it's referring to the nutrition in those groups. Is that clear? The nutrition in those groups born of the 4 causes. What does that produce, or conditioned by that, what arises? Material of the same group excluding nutritive essence, all matter of the other groups. Do you understand? Right? So excluding, if we are to take, for example, ID card, right? ID card. In ID card, altogether there are 10 matter that arises, isn't it? Here, 10. Right? 10. So we are referring to when we take nutrition out, because nutrition has already been. Why do we take nutrition out? Because it is the conditioning state. We are talking about it as a conditioning state for the rest of the 9. Do you understand? So if we are taking ID card, we take out nutrition here and we are talking about the rest in the conditioned state. Is that clear, everyone? Right? Now, what are we talking about here? We are talking about the cause and effect of nutriment. Now, one might imagine, now in the revision class or in earlier sessions, we discussed, for example, the eye consciousness or the rupa giving way to the arising of the ID card, or karma giving rise to the ID card. Now we are talking about nutriment, conditioning it. What does that mean, right? What we are simply talking about is the aspect or the way that nutriment gives rise or causes other material groups to arise. Does nutriment have a sense of predominance over the continuation of the nourishment or the supporting of the group? We discussed this at the revision class. Remember, nutriment does, right? In Kammaja, we have Jivita Indriya, which is this line here. Remember? Jivita Indriya. That is because of the Janaka karma. Right? The continuation, Jivita Indriya. But nutrition, apart from Kammaja, all else only has nutrition. This nutrition nourishes the Kalapa group. Do you understand? Remember, we discussed this. Nourishes the Kalapa group, energizes the Kalapa group. Remember? Now that is what we are talking about. We are talking from the perspective of nutrition. So do not be confused. Right? Do not be confused about the perspective that we are taking in this case. Because nutrition exists at the same time of the rest of the material groups, by the fact that it exists, by the spirit of it existing at the three moments, Upada, Titi, Banga, the other dharmas exist. Do you understand? The fact that it is simply there, this fact that it is simply with the rest within the Kalapa group supports and aids. That is how it becomes Atti Pachaya. Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Any questions? Hemamali, you look a bit confused. Are you confused? A little bit. Tikak. Chutak. Right. What are you confused about, Hemamali? Not sure.
Yes, Bhante, can you please explain it again, please?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
A or B?
B.
Okay. So, nutritive essence, we are talking about Atti Pachaya. Atti Pachaya, right? Atti Pachaya. In Atti Pachaya, number 4, Ahara Atti. Just as 1, 2, and 3, Sahajata, Purejata, and Pachajata, and just as mentioned in Lady Seado's book, look at this again, everyone. Why is Atti Pachaya so called? Atti Pachaya is so called because it causally relates itself to its effect. To its effect. What does that mean? Cause and effect. Causally relates itself to its effect. So meaning it's there with its effect. Do you understand? Right? Without nourishment or the maintenance or support for a Kalapa group, will the Kalapa group exist? It can't. It doesn't have support. Right? This we see. How do we know this? Because within the Kalapa groups, within the 21 groupings, we find that life faculty is somewhat universal. Do you understand? See, it's a straight line. All of which have nutriment, right? It has a sense of support. Do you understand? Right? Just as in Sahajata or Purejata or Pachadata, all of those causes existed at the same time of its effect. Isn't it? That's how it became Atti Pachaya. Tennada. Right? Now, what are we looking at? We are looking at Ahara Atti 15.1. Right? Here, we are looking at 15.1b, the internal Ajattika Ahara in the groups born of four causes. That is that whole straight line that we just saw. That the groups that arise because of karma, consciousness, temperature, and nutriment. Right? Because of the nutritive essence being there, it allows and supports and maintains the kalapa throughout the duration of upada, titi, and banga. Does it just maintain? No. It is there with it. ඒ කියන්නේ කලාප group එකේම ඉන්නවා ආහාර. That is how it becomes attipachaya. Do you understand? Right? So because of ahara, the kalapa group is maintained at that time for upada titi banga. Right? For 17 mind moments. Remember, for 17 mind moments. And nutriment is present throughout those 17 mind moments as well. Hence, atti pachaya ahara atti. Do you understand? Yeah? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, Bhante, thank you.
Really? Is it clear?
Yes,
Geeta? Okay.
Bhante.
Bill, how about you?
Yes, but can you just repeat that last sentence, please, Bhante? So you said therefore attipachaya ahara. What did last sentence?
Ahara atti. Attipachaya ahara atti. Which is essentially what I'm simply saying is
Yes.
number 21 presence condition
Yes.
here in the chart on the screen, Dil, right?
Yes.
And then here number 21 is attipachaya
Yes.
ahara atti. This is ahara. This is nutriment presence.
Right, Bhante.
Ahara atti.
Atti, yes. On the 21 on top is just attipachaya, and
This is
here.
attipachaya ahara atti.
Yes, right. Now I follow. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
All right. Is that clear, everyone? Do I need to go explain? Padma, how are you?
Atti, this is ahara atti.
Padma, you okay?
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to get into my head again.
Okay. It's not very complicated. It is simple.
I understand what you're trying to
Yes,
get.
it is simply the fact that both of these natures, the cause and its effect, exist at the same time, but supporting the arising, the presence of the other groups, it supports. For example, Yerdikard, it supports all of this to do what it does simply by being there during Upada Titi Banga for 17 mind moments from the time that it arises to the time it ceases to be. Simply that. Right? The fact that atti හේතුවෙන් අත්ති පච්චයට පත් වෙනවා. අත්ති පච්චය වෙනවා. අති හේතුවෙන්, because it's simply present. Right? Because it's simply present at that time. Right? It supports. Do you understand the essence of that? Right? All right. So, can we move on to faculty? Are there? Yes, Noeline.
When you explain,
Yeah.
can you please use the English words as well in the, what's showing in the book?
Yes. Yes. Aha. English word. Atti. Yes.
Presence.
I'll remember. Presence.
Presence.
Nutritive presence. Nutritive presence. Yes, I'll remember that. Then we have. Can I move on, or any other explanation required? Okay. 15. I'm sorry, number 5. Number 5 is faculty, right? Faculty. Indriya ati, or faculty presence, right? 16.2, right? 16.2. Now, just for further understanding, everyone, can we go back to 21.4, please? Nutriment, right? Now we are only taking in nutriment for our understanding. I want to just go into this as well. Now, mind you that in nutriment we are only talking about, right? We are only talking about 15.1, which is nutritive essence in food and internal nutritive essence in the groups born of the 4 causes. However, we are not doing 2. Passa, contact, volition, and chitta, giving rise to 89 chittas, 52 chetasikas, matter connascent with each nutriment. Right? Matter connascent with each nutriment. Why? We have contact, volition, chitta, right? Matter, passa. Remember, there are how many types of ahara? Remember that, right? We have nutritive essence, kambalikara ahara, right?
And the mental one.
And then the mental groups, right? Mental groups. Now this is the material one we have done. The material one falls into nutritive presence, right? Nutritive presence, ahara ati. However, not the mental ones, right? Why? Why? Yeah, Devika, you're muted.
I'm sorry. I was thinking. Okay.
Bhante, I was speaking, Bhante. I'm sorry, I was muted. When you say contact is passa there, volition is kamma there, isn't it? And chitta is chitta. Am I right?
No, volition is not kamma. Volition has to be taken as chetana.
Yes, Bhante. So that is one of the chetasika. I'm sorry, Bhante. Right.
Yeah, it has to be taken as a chetasika.
Yeah, chetasika. Right. Okay, Bhante. Thank you for that.
Devika, what were you going to say?
I'll wait for your explanation. I'll pass. I was actually, Bhante, I was thinking under mental nutriment, you were talking about 2. Under nutrition, the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Contact, volition, and chitta. And it gives the 89 chittas and material with each nutriment. So I was thinking the earlier ones exist until the 17 mind moments. And I thought this particular one, mental one, continues. Is that wrong? The earlier one was, that's wrong, I think.
Bhante, is it Nama and Rupa?
No. No, not because it is Nama and Rupa.
It's conscious only, Bhante.
Now, remember, no, we have to look at what is Atipaccha. When we are looking at a question like this, what is Atipaccha and why doesn't it become Atipaccha? Because it surely does not fit into what Atipaccha is. What is Atipaccha? Atipaccha is a fact that it causally relates to itself, right? Causally relates to itself and it exists throughout the moments, right? Upada Titibanga. Now think about this sort of a thing, right? Contact, volition, chitta, giving rise to 89 chittas, 52 chetasikas, and matter connascent with each nutriment. Matter connascent with each nutriment. Right? So, what is this then? Why doesn't it fall under nutritive presence? Think about the case scenario. Let us say we happen to now experience a volition, chetanavak pahala venawa, to do something, to perform a good deed. Right? To perform a good deed. Now, when that consciousness arises and passes away, cause relates to itself. What does that mean? That means that that same chetana should be present at the moment causally relates to itself. That the cause and effect, no? When the effect arises, it should causally relate to itself. The cause should also be present, but volition will be present, but it's not the same volition. Do you understand? Is that clear? Again, the same example. Now, let us say I am thinking, I have, or it just appeared, arose in my mind, appeared to me that I should give a dana, right, to a group of monks. Now, I am determined, I'm going to now work on this volition that arose. At that time that I am now performing or enacting, because of that chetana, now there's going to be so many chitta vitis, consciousnesses arising to aid me in the process of enacting and bringing my volition to true physical fruition. Isn't it? Is the same volition me chetanavama ඒ කර්මය කෘත්‍ය ඉවර වෙනකන් තියෙනවද? Will this same volition be present up until the end of, or up until I am to bring my volition to fruition? Now that question, if I am to put to you, yes or no? We have to be very specific. We are not being ambiguous here. Very specific. It has to be this chetana. Nalini?
Yes, it has to be present, I think.
Okay. Why do you think it is present?
Because it is a continuation.
But is this volition? Now, Nalini, let us say you're going to give me a dana, right? Next month, right? So the volition that appears within your mind, Nalini, at this very moment, is it the same volition that will appear next month? Chetana is chetana. Yes, it is chetana, right? You know, it is chetana. However, is it the same chetana? It is not. By the time that you are in that position next month, when you're actually giving the dana, your chetana or volition there is different. It has been seasoned and matured. You will be in a different position next month. Do you understand? Right? Whilst if we even look at it in this manner, at this moment, my volition is, next month I want to give a dana. Next month, when you're standing on that day that you get up, on the day of the dana, right, you will be saying, today is my dana day. Do you understand? Isn't the volition different? The volition is different. For Attipachaya, this volition has to causally relate to itself. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ චේතනාවේ ඵලය හටගන්න අවස්ථාවේදී මෙම චේතනාවම ඇතිවෙන්න ඕන. Again in English, at the time that this volition gives rise to its effect, this same volition has to be present. If so, it can be Atipacca. But because it does not become Atipacca. However, if you take this internal nutritive essence in the four groups born of the four causes, at that very moment it conditions and supports and nourishes the rest of the members of the Kalapa group. Do you understand? Right? Now today I am having a volition. Right? I am having a volition to do something. Even after this class, I'm going to make myself a chamomile tea. Right? I've already decided that. Right? Now, but that the volition to make the tea arose before the class, and at the moment of making the tea, what is my volition going to be? Let me grab the tea bag. Let me now put the kettle of water on. Right? Let me now put the kettle, pour the water into the cup or the whatever. Isn't it? Now you see, it's a different volition. It's not this same volition. Why? Because this volition would have already passed away. Do you understand? This
Yes. Sorry. Bhante, the volition
would have already passed away. Right? Conditioned by this volition, 89 chittas, 52 chetasikas can arise in the future. In the future. Do you understand? Right? Yes, Sujata.
Yes, Bhante, I was wondering, the volition is there, but when the time passes, that could change, but the act is still in your head. I must do it.
Yes, the act is still in your head, but Sujata, that is exactly what we're saying. Your behavior can be determined by volition in the past which arose. It is as if, we decide to put ourselves through a course of some sort. This course is 1 year long. I decided to put myself through that course. Yes, the volition conditioned my behavior. However, am I having the same volition at the beginning of the course, or at the middle time of the course, or at the end of the course? No, it's different.
Yeah.
Right?
What I say is, it's different, Bhante, but you're going to do it somewhere or other.
It doesn't matter whether you do it or not. What matters is, we are not talking about doing it. We are talking about the essence of mind at any given moment in time when the effect gives rise. Do you understand? When the effect gives rise, will this same volition be there?
No.
No, this same volition is not going to be there. Now, for example, all of us probably we are thinking, how can we help our people in Sri Lanka, right? Now this volition arises in the mind, but when we are actually going to do it and we get into the nitty-gritties of helping people or sending money or sending sort of food or whatever it is that we can to support, then we realize, then we learn so much about actually doing it, isn't it? Right? And the possible difficulties, the possible sort of pros and cons of it, right? All of those nitty-gritties, right? The volition arose, and the volition has passed away as well. Now we are living out the effects of the volition. That same volition is not present. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because of that volition, chetanawa hinda thamai, I called the courier company to find out what are your charges for me to send the package to Sri Lanka. At that time, when the initial volition arose, I did not think about the courier company. I was thinking, I want to help someone in Sri Lanka. Do you understand how that volition is now different? Now, as the effect of that initial volition, now I am planning the logistics of it. Let me call the courier company. Let me see if one of my family members can take it to a poor family or whatnot. All of these details. So then the volition is what? Call the courier company. Call a family member. Who do I know? How can I plan the logistics? How many months will it take to arrive in Sri Lanka? All this. Now see, Chetana venas.
What does that all mean, Bhante?
Doctor, well, what it means is the fact that at the moment for nutriment would effect or arise at the same time the effect arises in that moment in time.
Oh, that's a big process.
However, for mental ahara, mental nutrition, what happens is it conditions and the effect does not have the same supporting volition at that moment or the same contact at that moment or the same chitta at that moment. Do you understand?
Right. I just returned from the doctor. That's why I said doctor.
No, that's fine. Right? That is fine. What it relates is that whether it causally relates it to itself at that very moment.
Okay.
මොහොතෙම හේතුව ඵල ධර්මයේත් එක්ක එකට තියෙනවද? ඒ ඵල ධර්මයට එකම මොහොතක උපකාර වෙනවද? මේ අවස්ථාවේ at this moment it does not.
Yeah.
Why does it not? Because the effect of it can be changed or can sort of be affected by other sort of conditions in the future as well.
No,
in the first group, 15.1, it does. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
All right, everyone. Is it clear to everyone? Right? Can we move on? Yeah, good. Now we have Indriya, faculty presence, which is 16.2. Now, faculty presence. Indriya atti. Indriya atti. What is the page? Is there a page? Attipachya, I think it was somewhere here, wasn't it? Repetition, proximity, continuity, absence.
Is it 320?
320. Okay,
Yeah.
320. Here, faculty condition. Let's read this. Right. Now, what we need is this one. Right. What we need is this one. But let's go through faculty condition just to refresh our memory. Faculty condition, which is the page 320. Yes. Thank you, Noelin. Is a condition where a conditioning state relates to the conditioned state by exercising control in a particular department or function. Exercising control in a particular department or function. This condition is compared to a panel of ministers, each of whom has freedom of control in governing his particular region of the country and does not attempt to govern other religions.
Other regions, Bhante.
Other regions. Sorry about that. This condition is compared to a panel of ministers, each of whom has freedom of control in governing his particular region of the country and does not attempt to govern the other regions. That is so, huh? As stated in the text, there are 3 types of faculty condition: prenascence, material life faculty, and connaissance faculty. So number 2, let us go to number 2 because that is what we are doing now. Material life faculty in the material groups born of karma is a faculty condition for the other 9 phenomena in the same group. So it controls them by maintaining their vitality, right? Maintaining their vitality. We discussed this already, isn't it? Right? Now, is that clear, everyone? Right? In the same manner, right? In the same manner, let us just go up. In the same manner here, 16.2. Let us look at the chart. Material life at rebirth and during existence. Material life at rebirth and during existence gives rise or conditions 9 karma-born matter connascent with life faculty. Connascent with life faculty. Do you understand? Connascent with life faculty. Remember, life faculty arises at this moment. So life faculty is accounted here. Connascent with life faculty. We are not referring to life faculty being present as the conditioned state. What we are saying is 9 karma-born matter that is connascent with life faculty that has already been mentioned here. Is that clear, everyone? Right? No. Let us go to the chart. Now, we are referring to karma-born matter here. Right? Karma-born matter. Is that clear? Are we looking at the chart? Karma-born matter. In karma-born matter, we have life faculty, which maintains the vitality of each and every kalapa or grouping that arises at its respective moment of arising. Right? So for example, again, if we are to take, let's say, the base decard, right? The base decard here, it has life faculty. Life faculty arises, and with its arising, it causally affects or relates to itself and supports the vitality of this group. Is that clear? Is that clear? Life faculty is indriya. Right? I'm sorry.
Jivitendriya.
Jivitendriya. Life faculty is Jivitendriya. Its function is the continuity of the physical component. Right? The physical component. Here, Rupa. We have a Mano Jivita Indriya too. We are not talking about that. We are talking about Rupa Jivita Indriya. Right? The physical Jivita Indriya. Life faculty. That life faculty, how does it ensure the continuity of the kalapa or that respective phenomena group? It is by it is vitality. Its energy is vitality. Right? In being, now this is ati, indriya ati, or faculty presence. In the life faculty being present here, we are talking about the base decard. In the life faculty being present here, it supports the vitality of the entire group. Do you understand? Because life faculty is present, the others can exist. Do you understand? Its continuity is ensured. Why? Because of Jivitendriya. Do you understand? Right? Now, coming back to the wrong chart. Material life faculty at rebirth and during existence gives rise to karma-born matter connascent with that life faculty. Do you understand? What is this? Right? During rebirth, now at the moment of rebirth and at the moment of existence, at the moment of rebirth, this moment of rebirth comes to be because of the Chuti Chitta and the Patasandhi process, isn't it? karma. It is fueled by karma, you see, right? And during existence, when we come into being, we come with a specific lifespan, right? Isn't it? That is determined by the karma that we have, that lifespan. Of course, whilst there can be janaka karmas which allows you to live for a certain span of time, there can be other karmas that arise in time to disrupt the flow of the janaka karmas, right? Or support the janaka karmas with due respect, right? Hence, if we have a karma to persevere, to live, this karma, this karma born, remember it is karma born. Because it is karma born, so that is, just as Sujata asked, so what does this mean that it's karma born? It means that this process, this moment in life, it is not to say that we are doing everything that we are doing is because of previous karma. It is to say that our life's force has significant support from our karmic storage. For example, we see, hear, smell, taste, feel because of the prasada rupas being supported by the ahetuka chittas which give way or allow for the chakku pasada to work, for the sota, gana, jivha, kaya pasada to take in that data, isn't it? Right? That is the ahetuka karmas there. As we see, we are exhausting at this very moment. We are exhausting the karmas we have to see. Right? The karmas that we have to see, smell, taste, hear and feel. As we exhaust, and with the sankharas that we are currently producing, we exhaust and we are producing as well. So it's never ending. Right? It's never ending. As we are exhausting, right? As we are exhausting, we are producing karmas as well. And those karmas will also allow for future seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling. Do you understand? Right? In that manner, material life faculty at rebirth and during existence, right? Conditions, material life faculty. Because of this life faculty, right? 9 karma-born matter connascent with life faculty comes to be. Meaning, it is not talking about the fact of, it is talking, okay, let's put it in this way. It is referring to the fact that, or it's referring to the vitality offered by the Jivitindriya during rebirth and at rebirth and during existence. Do you understand? It is referring to the vitality, the continuation, the support for continuation, the energy that ensures continuation at rebirth and during existence. In this case scenario, do you understand? So if one is to ask this question, what is the reason for the continuity of material life? If one is to ask this question, what is the reason? Material life faculty. Do you understand? Material life faculty is karma born. Do you understand? Is karma born. In being, it supports what it causes relates itself. Because there is karma to continue, these kalapas keep on arising. Do you understand? Now, for example, because I have the karma to see for the prasada rupa to work, the karma, let me be more clear, which is really the prasada, because I have the inherent karma which supports the prasada, the contact bases to work, which ensures my seeing, the ID card arises. The ID card arises. The continuation of the ID card is because of what? The Jivita Indriya. Do you understand now? Because I had the karma to listen for the ear base to work, what happens? The ear card arises. What fuels and supports the continuity? No, I'm sorry. What ensures the vitality of that kalapa group or that group of physical phenomena? Again, life faculty. What nourishes it? Nutriment. What nourishes it? Nutriment. Remember, this is all organic matter. Right? This is organic matter. What nourishes it is nutriment. But what ensures its vitality? Jivitindriya.
So when you say nutriment, there is a oja.
Oja.
Yeah. Bhante, can I ask this? I know it's a little away from this, but so when you get COVID, lots of my friends have got it, they'd have lost their sense of ghana and so the smell. They can't smell dry. So now we say it continues because the Jivitendra is there. So there something has happened that even though the prasadas and everything are there, they can't now smell and taste. Though the karma has brought all those things, but the virus has gone and done something in that VT process. Why can't they smell? Because the karma is there, they can smell and they can taste, but these people are now unable to smell and taste.
Yeah, but the smell and taste comes back, no, after some time.
In some people, it comes back quickly, something like some of my friends have had to take steroids and things because it had not come back for quite some time. So that just depends on people. Generally, after some time, yes, it does. But it can vary quite a bit. And recently, one of my doctor friends had to take steroids because it didn't come back for quite a while. So something has damaged that. So though you have the karma and you have the Jivitindriya, maybe the virus can break it at some point.
Yes, I mean, the
toxins.
It is also mentioned. I mean, it is clear that there can be that it is not wholly, of course. If we take it in this manner, if we are born, we are prone to illness, right? When we experience illness, now for example, let us say, I may have the lifespan or the energy to live up until 80, let us say. But that does not mean, just because I have the ability to live up until 80 does not mean that all my organs and internal systems will be crisp till 80. There might be certain processes which may be affected. That falls into Jara Vyadi. Right? That falls into Jara Vyadi. Right? And so what we are relating to here is not Jara Vyadi.
Yeah.
We are relating to nourishment. And then Jivitindra, which is the fact of continuity. That means although these Jara Vyadi is also present and apparent, most apparent, we still have continuity. Right? We still have continuity. That is Jivitindriya. The answer, what we can how we could probably understand this situation may be the fact that in the fact of human nature, right, the body as a part of its nature may be owing to karmas, supported by karmas, although the body continues, that the body condition, now remember, karma is so complex. The fact that we are born into such positions, right, during this time of the world, right, without being reborn in the Deva planes, where probably we are not affected by all of these these illnesses as such, right? We are born into, so look at this karmic identity. the complex nature of karmas, right? So while it can be karma, karma is simply not A or B. Karma is so diverse in the way that it manifests that we can't even think of the range. That is simply just beyond range. I mean, for example, now let us say, let us think about the people who might be talking or thinking about us at this very moment. If someone who is living with us is talking about us in the kitchen or in the hall, maybe we would be able to hear them, right? To hear them. However, if people are talking about us from all across the world, that is beyond our range, right? It is beyond the scope. In a similar way, we do not realize, or we can't realize, it does not scope the diverse experience of life. The diverse experience of life. Even the fact of how you're focusing on the Dhamma talk, this Dhamma lesson, but there are sensations all across the body. Just imagine how the karmas arise in such a manner where it gives rise to these ahetuka cittas, fueling the process of feeling and all of these things, all these other experiences, at the same time that you're so interested and into the lesson as well. Right? So that is something to think about. Right? So surely it is not the permanent impeding of, let us say, permanent impeding of the eye or the chakku sota gana jivha kaya. However, we have to account for jara vyadi, because all of these things are organic. Right? And even when we take a shakti, an energy, upada, titi, banga. Right? Everything with time, that energy reduces. Right? If we take a physical, now this is a chitta, but if we take a physical energy, upada, right? The most powerful moment is the moment of titi, and then banga. Right? The fact of when we take this whole nama rupa complex, that nama rupa complex may take 80 or 70 or whatever years for upada titi banga to from birth to death, right? But the mere reality is the moment of presence is powerful, but there is a time of demise. There is a time of demise. Just as, for example, like our immunity, like immunity may drop and immunity, there might be these things. In the same manner, itna jara vyadi complex yattiyena. There is a jara vyadi complex in that as well. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, sorry. That's exactly what the Buddha preached, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, surely this is not my vipassana, but yes, I'm sorry to pop your bubble, Sujata, but yes, I am kind of repeating.
Bhante, this is the reason, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You once said, now we think you practice all these things and, do pariyatti and, and finally, Pativedya, if you're not Nibbana, even that if you have come up, somebody has become a Sekha, become Sotapatti, right? But I remember once you saying that now we think, right, 7 births and it is Divya Lokas or, Manusya Lokas, and most of us think those Manusya lives will be in very comfortable things where everything. But I remember you saying one thing, remember once you're born, not in the Deva, but in a Manusya world, you are subject to all these Jara, Vyadi, Marana things. So, the Devas live a number of years, but we live, and you can die a short life, or you can have COVID or whatever all these things are, political harassment, all those things, even though you're Sotapatti, that you can have those. I remember you telling us that.
Of course, but the thing is, that is true, Dil. That is true, and that is exactly what happens. Yeah. But when it comes to Abhidhamma discussion, when we are discussing the Abhidhamma, we have to think about it in a bit more detail, in the sense of with respect to detail. specifically, which is this. Now, for example, let us say a person is born into a beautiful family of comfort, lives a life of comfort, right? And then sort of goes through a very sad, and let's say a very sad and traumatic, let's say a relationship, for example, right? Which truly harms this person in a manner where the person did not receive or did not come to gain and receive support during that difficult time to understand what truly happened. And the person develops a sense of depressive thoughts, which then sort of leads to the fading of beauty, the growing of it, the maturing of age, the look of it, right? Let's take a situation of that sort. Now, this person is born into a situation of comfort, privilege, right? And surely a trihetuka pratisandhi comes because of the unfortunate nature of the world, comes to experience or have a very bad experience at the hands of a person that the person loved, right? Is unable to come, hold or grapple or receive some support, and hence is unable to pull themselves out of those depressive thoughts. Because of that, the minds that arise within this person is negative, sad, depressing. Because of those sad, depressing thoughts, the body too starts fading, looking old, all of these things which happens, isn't it? We've seen it so many, might have even happened to some of us, right? And then, now you see, the initial karma was such that the person was able to possibly live a happy, full life and, a beautiful life. Unfortunately came into a bad experience, did not have the support of Dhamma and all of these things, right? Hence, that sort of initial effect, because of this sort of position, those karmas were not fully able to sort of bloom. Do you understand? Right? Now you see, that is karma. ඒක තමයි මේ සසරේ තියෙන භයංකාර ගතිය. Right? You come full force, bright as a sun on a summer's day. But then something happens. And if we are lacking the strength of mind and heart, right, that full force is sort of met with those gloomy clouds that does not move away. Right? That is the bhayankara nature, the fearful nature of samsara. Right? So those karmas, whilst they are predominant, whilst there are powerful karmas present, maybe those karmas are not powerful enough in certain tenses to protect the integrity of what you're born into or what you're born with, right? Hence, we find that we are the people who compromise our own karmas by not knowing how to let go. We compromise, right? And sometimes the situation is such that it is beyond our control. Right? It is beyond our control. And our environments also sometimes do not provide us with the necessary support sometimes, because we are simply not there as people to receive support. Our vibrations are not there. So you see, that is a complex nature. Now, even people, for example, living in London where healthcare is so good, maybe some people, they just don't want to take the trouble to get on a bus and go to the hospital to get a checkup. No? How many people might there be? Right? Although there are so much opportunity in countries such as this, how many people choose otherwise? Right? Now,
Bhante, but that's why I think, am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong in saying that the the wings of awakening. If you are fortunate in this distressful thing, say you've got a wrong partner and you're in depression and all these kind of things, or abused by somebody, that if you got this thing, Kalyana Mitra Sampatti, and if you have got, the ability to listen to the Dhamma as well as Yoniso Manasikara, and the ability to practice and let go, that you have a great chance of being able to, because you're so supported. So more than all the wealth in the world, if you have these factors with you, somebody will explain, tell you, and show the dangers of proliferating and going on those chitta sankara, oh, this man did this, or somebody else did this, or this, what happened, somebody, so you keep on proliferating, because that's a human condition. But if you have a Kalyana Mitra says, be careful, because this is Abhidhamma, that this is the next privity moment. So when you have that, and if you have the intelligence, and that's why in Swakata you always say that when you hit the intelligent, if you have to have the intelligence, because if you're low IQ, or if you're mentally in some way disabled, you won't be able to even if you have Dhamma Shravane and Dhamma Patipada and Yoniso Manasikara, you won't be able to let go to do the nekkhamma too. So how much fortunate are we that we can, all these things can happen to us. We can get COVID, we can have a war in England, being in England with Ukraine and things. But even if we have to die, if our minds are practicing like this, the impact of our next thoughts and things won't be so fearful, and because we are always aware that our thoughts, we create our reality. I find that a very protective shield, that whatever horrible thing happens, that immediately your mind goes to that, If I'm waiting in this, you have I don't know, all these classes that I have done, I must say this last 2 years, that is the one thing that the strength that you have got, because you're revisiting this all over the time, that your ability to get the mindfulness to quickly, oh my God, this is the state I'm in, I'm either in one of the, the defilements or the hindrances. I must just let it go. So that, at the end of it, in the night when you go and when you're reflecting and you're revisiting this, you're very glad that, you stopped it in 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And for me, your progress of your path is that you're able to see something, and you're not talking about something over and over again, because as soon as the thought will come into your mind, but oh my God, this thought has again come into my mind, it's going to go the same. So that is, for me, without going and asking people, are you this or that at least you're on the right path. You may not have reached. I find that is the real benefit of this kind of gathering and what we are learning about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also, it's in preparing the vibration, to welcome sort of be, because sometimes we find people, with so much of privilege, so much of access, truly, access to comfort, access to privilege, access to Kalyana Mitras even, and access is different from truly sort of enjoying that. Some people have access, but they do not enjoy. Right? For a person to have access and to enjoy is a blessed state. Right? Is a blessed state. With people who have the ability, who have access, surely have done good karma, but the karmas have surely not been complete. Sampurna nahi. Sampurna nathi. How many people do we know who can afford to eat so well? However, they do not. Right? However, they do not even want to spend, knowing so very well that apples have, even if you take like for basic health even, they don't want to spend that extra 30p on an organic apple. They go for the lowest or the cheapest, knowing that there's so much of chemicals or whatnot. Having so much. Hence, it is simply, that is why when it comes to sort of karma, the Buddha talks about this sort of sakkaccha. Sakkachan danandetis, sakasa dandima, right? Which is the fact of we think about the wholeness of a karmic action, the wholeness of a karmic action. Hence, we are able to have and enjoy as well. Have and enjoy as well. That is important, right? Having and enjoying. Now,
Bhante,
yes,
can
Shravani.
you explain the Chitta Jivita Indriya, please?
Chitta Jivita Indriya.
Yeah, what is Chitta Jivita Indriya?
Chitta Jivita Indriya. Chitta Jivita Indriya is the Jivita Indriya again an energy within the consciousness. It is a Chaitasika Dharma where this Chaitasika Dharma's main function is again continuity. Right? Continuity. We will be coming to Chitta Jivita Indriya again in Sahajata Indriya. Right? In Sahajata Indriya. It arises together with the Chitta. Right? And its function remains the continuity of that energy. The continuity of that energy.
Bhante, is it same as the Chittaja? What you mean?
No.
Is it different?
It is different.
That is
Why?
Rupa.
Because Chitta is
That
Rupa.
is Rupa. So, Bhante,
Right, okay.
so Bhante, when you look at the Chetasikas, the Sabachita Sadharana, the universal ones, when you look at them, so the sixth one is the life faculty, which is the Jivitindriya. So in response to the question that was raised by Sriyani, that life faculty actually encompasses both the Rupa, the physicality, as well as the mentality. Because you are referring to the Jivitindriya here, when Sriyani asked that question, that is a Chetasika. So the only place, Chitta is not a Chetasika, Chitta is a bigger thing. And then Chetasika, the one is the mental formations and the other one is mental factor. So when you referred to Chitta as Chitta Jivita Indriya, then that is this life faculty, which is the Chetasika, encompasses both the physical and the mental.
Yeah.
Because there's no other, when you look at the 52, there's no other Chetasika called Chitta. Chitta, yeah.
Chitta, it is referring to the 5 aggregates there, right?
Okay,
Nama and Rupa.
Yes. Nama Rupa, yeah.
Right, it's referring to the 5 aggregates. So Chitta, Chitta there is referring to the consciousness. It is not essentially, it is not essentially a Chaita or Chetasika. It's referring to Chitta.
So when you refer, then my question then is, when we refer to the Chetasika number 6 life faculty, are you referring only to the physical part of this Jivatindriya, this thing what we are studying, the material part, or are we referring to the mental part as well?
Which one again?
Now, Bhante, when we...
Yeah, which one?
Yeah, number 15.
So, number 15 is physical.
Yes.
One is physical.
Yes.
2 is mental.
Right. Okay. So that is the ahara one. Correct? The ahara is both. But when you are talking of Jivitindriya, that Jivitindriya, which is the Chetasika, right? The Jivitindriya, which is the Chetasika that we are speaking of, does that include both the physical and mental part, or only the physical?
No. Now, that is, we're talking about faculty, isn't it?
Yes.
The 16-2. This is physical only.
Thank you very much. Now,
this is physical.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
this is physical only.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, because here deal material life faculty.
Yeah. Number, what is that one, Bhante?
16.
Number 16, yeah.
16-2.
Yeah, very clear.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because why it does not relate to the mental is because the mental one, just the story of the volition. Right. Because the mental one, if at all, right, it would condition the arising for future, but it will not arise at the same time, the effect will arise.
Right.
So it does not become attipachaya.
Right.
Right?
So they are not continuous. So it's nothing there.
Hey, what are the
Yeah.
functions of the life
Let's not go
faculty?
there yet. Let's not go there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, just because it's not Atti, don't say that.
I mean, no, Bhante, there are that Atti, Natti, and Vikaha and Avikaha. So.
Yeah, we haven't done that, no. No.
Okay,
Right.
Bhante, what are the functions of the life faculty?
The function of the life faculty is simply continuity. It continues with regards to both mental and physical functions of life faculty. So mental and physical both, right? Life faculty, what it does is continuation. Now here, look, this jivita, now this is physical, this is not mental, this is physical, right? This chart is also available on the website, by the way, right? Now this is life or life faculty or life force, vitality. It is basically vitality, right?
Expand the chart. Can you expand a little bit, Bhante? Right. Thank you. Yes.
Now, Jivita, right? Its characteristic is protecting the matter born together by karma. Hari. This is a, remember everyone, this is an energy, right? What is its function? Continuity of the matters born together, right? ekata hatagatta වූ ඒ රූප කලාපයන් ගේ පැවැත්ම හෝ පැවැත්වීම තමයි ජීවිතේන්ද්‍රයට that's the function of ජීවිතේන්ද්‍රය, right? Maintenance, what is its manifestation, right? Manifested by the fact of maintenance, right? Maintain, it is the maintenance of it. The proximate cause is the four Mahabhutas, because that physicality comes into being because of the four Mahabhutas. Do you understand? Right? Origination, it is karma born. Origination is karma born. Its attributes, let's not go into the attributes. Appearance in all karma born kalapas, we have seen that, and it can be experienced by mind, and it can be experienced, so through meditation it can be experienced by mind, right? Now in the same manner, Shriyani, for the mental jivitindra as well, it is the same nature, continuity, maintenance of that chitta chaitasika complex, right? This becomes the same, continuity and the maintenance, right?
But the nutriment will be different.
Nutriment එක වැඩක් නැහැනේ for the mental.
Yeah, but then you're feeding your senses, aren't you? That comes under nutriment.
If you're talking in that way out of nutriment, then the mental, then we are connecting the mental and the physical. Then it becomes chittaja. Right? Chittaja.
Not Rupa.
No, it is Rupa. It is Rupa. However, chittaja. See, now if we eat something, right? If we eat something, it becomes nutriment born. Can you see my cursor, everyone? It's nutriment born. Here, it's here, up here. Here, up here. Yeah, this end one here, right? If we eat something, eat some nutrition, that is this. If the nutriment is born about by moisture or that sort of a nutriment, right? Then let us say some larva or fungi, which are organisms, and their nutriment would be temperature born. You see? Right? Now consciousness. Now we have some sort of strong determination, right? Some strong determination. That is Shriyani consciousness born. And then the nutriment and the life force, maintenance, sustenance, continuity, where we have both Jivita Indriya and Ahara, nutriment, that is karma born. Pera karpu karmayange. Palayak vashen hataganne. Do you understand? Is that clear?
Okay, so that's life faculty. What about heart base? What are the functions of the heart base? Is it only the arising of the 5 aggregates?
What is the heart base is a seat of mind. Right? The heart base is a seat of mind. All other functions that are not performed by the 5 sensory bases or the locations of the pasada rupas, the base of mind for the rest becomes the hade vastu or the seat of mind.
So what do you say are the functions of the heart base?
The functions of the heart base is the supporting of mind, offering the physical support to the mind to arise.
Is it not arising of the 5 aggregates?
No.
I saw it in the book somewhere that
The arising of the 5 aggregates of clinging. The arising of the 5 aggregate, tanhava, avidyava, all of those attributes, they would arise from the hade vastu, mano. Right? Now look at, if we take the hade vastu, right, and then the chakkudwara, chakkusota, gahana, jivha, kaya, hadaya. Everything that does not arise at chakkusota, gahana, jivha, kaya arises at hadaya. Right? Arises at adaya. So hadaya vastu, even at rebirth, where does the mind arise, or what becomes a seat of mind? Hadaya. Right? So in that way, it gives rise to the 5 aggregates, because that is the linkage and the bondage between the mind and to this birth. Do you understand? Right? As long, when that linkage, put again, when that linkage happens, right, the mind will not just uproot itself and leave. It will only leave when the linkage is broken. When death is, physical death is brought about, caused, then the linkage would be broken, the mind would disappear and reappear in a suitable position according to the energy that we passed with. Is that clear, Noeline?
Thank you,
Mala, you wanted to say something?
Auntie, about this Jivitendriya,
Okay.
now we try to separate the physical and the mental aspects of it, but they must always go together, isn't it? The physical and the mental one till the end of life, because the one can't be without the other.
Yes. So
Interdependent.
So when we refer to nama rupa, right? Nama rupa, just as we just mentioned, has a bondage, right? There is, I'm sorry, bond, right? Has a bond, a link, right? This link, although now a link is present and there is a harmonious process between the mind and the body. And we know this as well. I mean, look at it. I mean, chitta, the rupa, and you know how the mind affects the body affects the mind, right? However, at the moment of Jivita Indriya, that process in the same manner is respectfully falls to which component it is supporting. So if it is supporting, or if it is a continuation of mind which happens all the time, that is nama. That nama Jivitindriya has no connection to body. Because think about it, Mala, because the laws by which nama continues is different to the laws by which rupa continues. While one mind moment of the arising, possessing, and the demise of consciousness is just one Chittakana. 17 Chittakanas is the lifespan of a Rupa. The nature is different, or the natures by which it works is different. Its mechanism is different. Right? Its mechanism. Just think about it in this manner as well. The work performed between the relationship between Chitta and Chetasika, and then the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, and the rest of the Rupas. It's different. Right? It has a different governing law, niyama venas. Because of that reason, and what we know of Chitta Chesikas and of course Rupas, we would understand that each and every bit and part has its own specific function. That is why Chitta, because it all performs the same function, it is at times categorized as 1. Chetasikas are categorized as 52.
Oh.
Rupas is categorized as 28. Right? As 28. There is no overlapping between Jivita Indriya of Rupas and the Jivita Indriya of mind because they operate differently.
Bhante, but when it's Bojjhanga time, they unify. Don't they? Together, when it's a Bojjhanga, isn't it? Because that's where the mind and the Rupa and the Nama get to, become one.
No, where does it become one?
When you meditate, I'm talking about meditation.
Yes, I mean Bojjhanga, right?
Yeah.
How can, right?
So the body disappears, right?
The body disappears, the mind disappears more after.
But mind to disappear, it has to be Bojjhanga should happen, isn't it?
Now think about this, right? Now think about this. The body, the mind, upon the attainment of Rahat, right? Enlightenment, fullest form of enlightenment, Shriyani, the person has no inclination to the furthering of Sankhara.
Yeah.
However, right, alut karma hadin naha. However, the continuation of the body continues up until the demise, the complete cessation of mind. Right? The complete cessation of mind. Right? Through the body, Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jivha, Kaya, the body experiences. However, the mind does not develop further Sankhara because now the mind is different. Now see. Right? Now the experience of the body, we all know that the experience of the body is not the issue here. It is the way, it is the attention, the manasikara, which falls at fault. Why? Because of ayonsu and yonsu manasikara conditioned by avijja and lobha. Right? Nama and the rupa, what you're referring to, if you're through the Bojjhangas, you're referring to Nama Rupa Paricheda. Nama Rupa Paricheda, we've already discussed. Right? And the Paricheda of Nama Rupa, right? This is to note and see the arising and the passing of mind, the arising and passing of body. As two different processes and mechanisms that are linked together with other reasons, which we will also be able to see. But they are two different, mind and body. Right? Mind and body. They causally relate and affect one another. However, they are not at any moment. Mind cannot become body. Body cannot become mind.
Yes, understand.
Yeah? Okay. So,
Thank you, Bhante. That was very interesting.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Okay. So have we understood Indriya Atti or faculty presence?
Bhante, the questions and answers today has been extremely useful for us because it was only what was in the book and it was questions that came in the minds of all of us, and you explained it from what was from the charts in the books and things what are in front of us, and in English and in Sinhala for those who want. So I'm extremely grateful that this class has been really useful. I don't know for others, but certainly I don't know Noeline and all the others can say, but the questions we had were you really explained because it's from only this book that we have in front of us for reference. So thank you very much, Bhante.
Very useful session, Bhante. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
okay. All right,
We are doing
everyone.
we are doing
Yeah.
Chittanupassana, Bhante.
Okay, good. Did we? Okay, thank you. Did we understand faculty presence? Is that clear?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Is that
Bhante.
clear? Right? Just to brush through faculty presence 16.2. Material life faculty at rebirth and during existence. Causae relates itself to the 9 karma-born matter connascent with life faculty. Right? It becomes Atipacha because this material life faculty, which is a conditioning state, both at the moments of rebirth and existence, supports, maintains, ensures the vitality and the continuity of the respective karma-born matter, which arises connascent with life faculty. Is that clear? Right? Is that clear? That is Indriya Atti. So next week, right? Next week we'll be going into absence, disappearance, and non-disappearance, everyone. Right? Absence, disappearance, and non-disappearance, and hopefully we are able to finish. Let us see, right? Because these two are basically the same, and non-disappearance is presence, which we have already done. So I think next week we'll be able to finish.
Okay.
Right? Actually, I can actually finish. Is it a bit? Can I have 15 minutes? No.
Yes,
Too much, Bhante.
Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Then good night. And
Thank you, Bhante.
and revision class on Friday at 7. Would that work for everyone?
Bhante, can we do it at 6:30, Bhante? Because I have a group that I do with Americans, which is at 8:30. So when we start at 7, we never finish at 8:30. So interesting, we go till 9. And I have been a member of that group. And so last time I excused myself. But if we do it at 7, because I kept Friday for that because we didn't have a group. So if we start, if you starting at 7 and finishing at 8:30, I have no problem. I can move to that class at 8:30. But if we start and like we normally do, it's so interesting, we go till 9, they're waiting and waiting for me, and I had to then drop out of that group that I've been there for almost 2 years. So I would really, I don't know about the others. If there are working members who can't come, then I don't mind, I will drop out. But if we can come, or if we stop the class from 1.5 hours, 6:30 to 7 to 8:30, I don't mind. But if it goes till 9, Bhante.
But now, even last Friday, which revision class, we finished at 8:30, huh?
No, it didn't matter. It was only a few minutes, but I explained that I might get later. That is okay. But
Okay.
if you're sure, I don't mind, Bhante. But I don't want you to stop when something is so interesting. Everybody is engrossed. Stop. It depending on where it is. So if people find it difficult to come at 6:30, I don't mind. Let's start at 7. If I have to go, you know why. And I'll have to listen to the whatever recording or whatever. But if the class is definitely 7 to 8:30, I have no issue whatsoever.
Yeah, shall we discuss on the group then? Yeah, and take everyone so that the others who are not here also can. So let's see. All right.
Because we didn't have a class at on Friday, so I particularly arranged that one.
No, of course.
Yeah, but most of them are from America, so that's, and depending on whether it's Eastern or whatever they are, Pacific or East or whatever Central Time, it doesn't matter because they are 5 hours.
All right. Okay. Let's discuss on the group and see how it works with everyone, and then take. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Very useful.
Very,
Thanks,
very
Bhante.
useful.
Everyone, Sarnai.